Jessica was only 10 when her mother died. It was a Tuesday morning, just after the Harmattan winds began to blow. Her mother had gone to the market and collapsed beside her basket of tomatoes. They said it was a heart. Jessica didn't understand much, only that her mother's body was cold and her smile was gone. After the funeral, relatives cried and promised help. But when the food finished, only one person stayed, Aunt Kemi, her mother's elder sister. "We'll take her," she said. Jessica didn't want to go. But children don't choose. So she left with Aunt Kemi. The new house was in Lagos. Big, noisy, shiny, smelled like air freshener and stew. There was a man there, Uncle Deo, who rarely spoke to her. They had 2 kids, Dami, always on her phone, and Femi, a noisy 7-year-old. From the first night, Jessica knew this wasn't home. She was given a mattress in the corridor. "You can't share a room with my children," Aunt Kemi said. "They are not used to strangers." Each morning, Jessica swept the compound before school. Afterward, she washed plates and cleaned the sitting room. "Don't think you'll eat for free," Aunt Kemi warned. Jessica didn't complain. She missed her mother singing the mango tree stories. Now, she was a shadow, always walking, never seen. She ate last, sometimes just leftover rice or cold yam. She learned not to ask for more. One Sunday, they dressed for church in fine clothes. Jessica wore her faded dress. As she reached the door, Aunt Kemi said, "You're not coming. There's water to fetch and clothes to wash." Jessica nodded, throat tight. She sat on the steps and watched the car disappear into dust. She tried to smile when they returned. No one answered her. Not even little Femi. Sometimes she wondered if her mother could see her. Did she know how hard she was trying? At school, during break, Jessica sat alone. One day, a girl named Ada offered her half a meat pie. Jessica refused at first, but Ada smiled. "I have more at home." Jessica whispered, "Thank you." That was the first real smile she had in months. From that day, Ada became her friend. They shared pencils, laughter, stories. At school, Jessica felt visible. At home, things got worse. One rainy day, she came home soaked. "You want to bring sickness?" Aunt Kemi yelled, pulling her by the arm. Jessica knelt on the cold floor. That night, she stared at the ceiling and whispered, "Mama, are you proud of me?" She began writing in old notebooks she found in the storeroom. "I miss Mama's laugh. Maybe I'm not invisible." One evening, Aunt Kemi accused her of stealing bread. Jessica hadn't touched it. "Liar." A slap followed. "You're just like your mother. Useless." Jessica froze. No one had ever spoken badly about her mother before. That night, she didn't write. She just stared at the corner of the room. The next day, she went to school with a swollen lip. Ada noticed. "What happened?" Jessica shrugged. Ada told their teacher, Mrs. Bello, who called Jessica aside. "Are you safe at home?" "I'm okay," she whispered. "I just fell." Mrs. Bello didn't ask any further questions. But from that day, she watched Jessica more closely. Another day, Jessica sat quietly while the others ate. Her lunch had been forgotten again. Mrs. Bello handed her a sandwich. "I didn't pay for it," Jessica said. "You don't need to," Mrs. Bello replied. Jessica's hands trembled. That night, she wrote, "Some people see me." But home became unbearable. One day, she returned from school to find her things thrown outside. Her notebook was soaked. "What happened?" she asked. "You want to disgrace me?" Aunt Kemi shouted. "Go and live with your teacher. Get out. Please, don't throw me away." But the door slammed shut. Jessica sat outside with her wet clothes. It started to drizzle. She didn't know where to go. She was just 10. She walked through the night and ended up at school, curled beside a window. "Mama, I'm tired," she whispered. The gateman found her at dawn. She was shivering. By noon, she was in the principal's office, wrapped in a blanket. Mrs. Bello held her hand. "We want to help you," she said. "Will I be sent back?" "No. Not this time." Jessica sat in the welfare office, holding warm tea. A woman named Madam Grace knelt beside her. "You're safe now." Jessica whispered, "Is it wrong to talk about what happens at home?" "No, my darling. It's brave." Jessica blinked. No one had ever called her brave. She was taken to a small, clean shelter. There were kind women. Other children. A bed. Her own toothbrush. The first night, she couldn't sleep. But no one shouted. No one called her a mistake. In the morning, she woke up to the smell of pancakes. A girl named Simi gave her one pancake. "I took 2 by mistake," she smiled. Jessica took it. "Thank you." She started to heal. Slowly. She wrote letters to her mother, even though she couldn't send them. "Mama, I'm learning to smile again. Mama, I don't live in fear anymore." She read her first poem aloud in a small group. The children clapped. Jessica smiled. But her past wasn't forgotten. Authorities summoned Aunt Kemi. Shouted. She blamed Jessica. But the truth stood strong. The teachers had spoken. Jessica's injuries has been recorded. Her voice had been heard. The judge made a decision. Jessica would not return to that house. She was free. Tears rolled down her cheeks when she heard the news. For the first time, she felt it, freedom. Years passed. Jessica changed. Grew. Braver. Her eyes still carried stories, but not fear. She moved in with a foster family, Uncle Teo and Auntie Ruth. They had no children and welcomed her warmly. At first, she didn't know how to accept love. She flinched at raised voices. But Uncle Teo never raised his hand. Auntie Ruth kissed her forehead at night. Jessica's heart began to believe in love again. She excelled in school. Wrote every day. At 12, she won a writing award for her essay, "The Girl Who Refused to Disappear." On stage, as people clapped, she whispered, "Mama, can you see me now?" Auntie Ruth wiped a tear. Jessica wrote about children who suffered in silence. Her words reached teachers, parents, even officials. At 16, her story appeared in a local paper. People cried. Letters came. One said, "Because of you, I spoke up. Thank you." Jessica knew then, her pain wasn't wasted. Her voice had become light. She started a club at school, The Brave Ones, a space for kids to write and heal. One day, she visited her old classroom. She placed a flower at the back, where she once sat alone. "You made it," she whispered. Jessica didn't forget the past. But she wasn't trapped by it. She had become a voice. A survivor. She was no longer the girl begging to be seen. She was the girl who saw herself. And that was enough.
Thanks for watching. If you want more of this enchanting story, please subscribe and turn on your notification bell to be notified once I post another video.